Hey, great. The last digit of the like for each who you are from the chalk playground. So go down right now, click like, click subscribe, click the bell, look at the screen, pay attention to the last digit of your like and compare these facts. And who are you? Write about it in the comments. It's simple. For example, if you are a marshmallow, then I write marshmallow. Everything is cool. Enjoy your viewing. Hey, and all for row, dear friends, you are on the Melonfonk channel. In this video, you and I will talk about the new guns from the new voting, which appeared in version 15.0. But before the start of the video, I want to say a huge thank you for being in my video, and if you want to get into my next video, then you just need to subscribe to the channel, put a like, write your top comment. Well, don't forget to subscribe to the cart, the link is as always in the description. In general, I will not drag out your time and enjoy your viewing. So, we have already moved to Melon background, and I would like to say right away that these guns are just a mod. They will be very different from the officially released guns, which will be released soon. I think in 2 weeks we are already waiting for a new update, most likely under the numbering there may be 15.5, or maybe 16.0. Let's wait and see, while I do not know how it will look in principle in the future. And since this is a mod, accordingly it will be slightly different from the official release of this update. Well, in general, I still want to make videos for you and at least roughly show how it will look. The most important thing is that it is an exact copy. That is, in fact, it looks exactly the same as it will look in the future, but accordingly, the properties will vary a little, although they are close to the official release. And let's see what we have. So, we have 3 guns in the voting. This is a burst gun, this is a laser gun and, accordingly, a paintball gun. What do these weapons mean in principle? Let's take a look at what all this means in principle. Paintball guns are those weapons that are designed to shoot them with paint. And as for me, this is the most interesting weapon that I would like to test in the future. But unfortunately, so far it is clearly losing the vote. So please, if you are in your right mind, let's all vote together for a paintball weapon, just because, as for me, it has the most interesting property. In principle, we already have laser weapons in the game, such as a protogun and so on, so it's not as interesting as a paintball weapon after all. A burst gun, in principle, is a weapon that is designed to fire bursts. That is, there will be about 3 or 4 weapons in the queue. That is, accordingly, each weapon from this list has its own chip, that is, some property. Let's say that paintball weapons have the property of throwing paint and, in principle, painting any objects and causing some minimal damage to our melon. A burst gun or a serial fire weapon is a small automatic weapon that has a limited queue length, which in turn gives us the property of such a thing as firing bursts. That is, the bullets will come out 3, 4, and maybe 5 at the same time, which is clearly really interesting, as for me. And laser weapons, which for me is not the most interesting, but for some reason it wins. That is, let me explain what I would like to say about this. Laser weapons are really boring, because there are already prototypes of these weapons in the very underground at this time. Which is obvious, as for me, it's just boring and I would like something new and interesting. But paintball guns and burst guns are the most interesting options for me, which will give us new properties in a nice background, which is always good. And let's take a closer look at what this weapon looks like and let's just compare which weapon is the most beautiful of these. And let's look at laser weapons first. And as for me, she looks pretty enough. If you look closely, then, in principle, pink and white prevail here, as for me, although black is also in abundance here. But for some reason it stands out for the eye and it seems that it is white that prevails, respectively, along with pink. Next, what I would like to pay attention to. Most likely, laser weapons will have the property of penetrating through objects in principle. That is, it will be something like a blaster from Star Wars, which were all sorts of bandits or clones, and maybe droids. That's something I think will be in the official release. Now let's pay attention to paintball guns. That is, in principle, the weapon is also actually quite good. I don't like the sound of it. More precisely, I like how it will be heard in the future. That is, think about it, such a pleasant muffled sound. In general, in fact, some kind of soothing and they can be drawn, in principle, on the map, and this was clearly not enough before. As for me, this is a really cool feature that will just be unbalanced, but unfortunately everyone votes for laser weapons, which is not very good for me. Well, really, I'm least attracted to laser weapons and burst gun. It looks the most boring, as for me, but actually has a very cool property of firing bursts, just because it's called that. And as for me, this is also a cool feature and I would put it in second place. Although in terms of beauty, if we take pure beauty, I like it the least. Well, most of all I like paintball guns. I'll put the laser weapon in second place. According to the properties, as for me, the paintball weapon wins, then the burst gun and the laser weapon takes the third place. But unfortunately, the vote thinks otherwise. And then what can I do here? There's basically nothing I can do about it. If you go through the power, then the most powerful weapon 100% will be a laser weapon. Simply because it is laser and, in principle, has such properties. In second place, respectively, burst gun, but it has really cool properties, and the first place, or rather the third place paintball weapon. And even if we sum up all the points that we allegedly send, more precisely from the place, then, accordingly, in any case, the paintball weapon wins, because the first 2 places and 1/3. Accordingly, the laser has 1 second, then another second and then a third. That is, in fact, the arithmetic mean is the second place. Well, the third burst gun. Well, in principle, as for me, to be honest, laser weapons are the most uninteresting option. What do you think about it? Write in the comments, and if you think exactly the same as I do, then I urge you to please vote for a pitball weapon, because you will really get a lot of content than what you will get from a laser weapon. These are my thoughts, and this is such a cool mod we met today in this video. But unfortunately the video is coming to an end. Thank you all for watching, good luck to everyone, so far, and I remember my friend, as always, see you.